Good day and welcome to Sports Scope on Alive News, where we bring you the biggest sports stories making headlines across the globe. I am Amarachi Odinaka. Well, coming up on today's program, we'll take a look at the exciting return of the Premier League as the 2026-2027 season gets underway tomorrow, with defending champions Arsenal set to face newly promoted Coventry City. But we'll also take a look at the other major European leagues as they also kick off their new campaign of the 2026-2027 season. Well, away from club football, in Nigerian football, the Super Falcons are at the center stage of major conversations following the latest changes to the team's technical setup. All that and more will be coming up on Sportscope today. We'll take a short breather now. When we return, we'll bring you more on these developing stories across the world of sports. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sports Scope. It's been quite an exciting time in football, saying that we're moving slowly away from the international football now to club football. But now the Premier League returns for the 2026-2027 season, with Arsenal beginning their title defense against England's top flights, and as England top flights prepare for another exciting campaign. And the new season gets underway tomorrow, August 21st, but Arsenal will kick off their 2026-2027 campaign hosting newly promoted Coventry City at the Emirates Stadium. Well, three major teams have moved up to the Premier League this season. Well, these three teams are Coventry City, Ipswich Town and Hull City, and all of them are returning to the Premier League after earning promotions from the Championship. Yes, we'll be seeing Coventry, Ipswich Town and Hull City return to the Premier League this 2026-2027 season. Well, but away from that, there's still another exciting storyline heading into this new campaign. Well, a record equaling 9 Premier League clubs will compete in the European competition, with 5 of them featuring in the UEFA Champions League. Well, the 5 Champions League representatives are Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, Aston Villa and Liverpool. In the Europa League, we have Bournemouth, Sunderland and Crystal Palace, while Brighton will compete in the UEFA Conference League. That means English clubs will once again have major presence across European football, following a hugely successful campaign last season. Well, English clubs reached the final of all 3 major UEFA competitions last season. Aston Villa won the Europa League, while Crystal Palace lifted the Conference League trophy, adding to a domestic campaign in which Arsenal won the Premier League, while Manchester City claimed both the FA Cup and the EFL Cup. Now, as the new Premier League season gets underway, the question is whether these clubs can carry that momentum into another, demanding campaign this season. But for Arsenal, the immediate task is clear for the Gunners, is to defend their Premier League crown. Yes, Arsenal won the 2025-2026 Premier League season, and they'll be looking to defend their title in this new season. Well, for the newly promoted side, it's definitely about survival and establishing themselves in the top flights. And for the 9 clubs competing in Europe, there is the added challenge of balancing domestic competitions with the demands of the European club. A new season, new challenge, and plenty of stories already taking shape. The Premier League is back, and definitely everyone is excited. And the new 2026 campaign begins tomorrow. Now, let's take a look at the opening fixture of the new Premier League season. Well, the season gets underway tomorrow, like I said, Friday, August 21st, with defending champions Arsenal welcoming newly promoted Coventry to the Emirates Stadium. For Arsenal, it's the beginning of their title defense tomorrow, while for Coventry, it marks their return to the Premier League after 25 years. But Coventry is making their return to the Premier League after 25 years away from the EPL. And what a way to return to the Premier League, going on to face Arsenal, the reigning champions, on the opening night tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium. Well, But there's another Nigerian angle to this particular fixture. Nigerian fans would be keeping a close eye on Super Eagles striker Taiwo Awoniyi, who has also joined Coventry from Nottingham Forest. Awoniyi could now make his debut against Arsenal, giving Nigerian fans another reason to tune into the opening game of the new Premier League season tomorrow. Well, for Coventry, under manager Frank Lampard, the objective will be to start back the Premier League on a positive note. Arsenal against Coventry tomorrow, and for Nigerian fans, all eyes will also be on Taiwo Awoniyi, like I mentioned. The 2026-2027 Premier League starts here, and so much excitement. We're looking into that one. Well, while the Premier League takes center stage tomorrow, the other major European leagues are also getting on the way. Well, in Spain, La Liga is already on the way, having gotten the new season off to start on August 15th. Well, the Premier League clubs and League One both get on the way tomorrow, August 21st, while Serie A follows on August 22nd. Well, for the Bundesliga, the German side will be the last of the Europe traditional top 5 leagues to begin, with the German top flight kicking off on August 28th. Yes, the Bundesliga would be the last league to kick off their campaign, 2026-2027 campaign. So football fans have plenty to look forward to as the new European season gathers pace. But while our attention turns to the new football club, there's still a major conversation unfolding in the Nigerian football. If you remember, on the development, and now the Nigerian Football Federation, the Super Falcons, down immediate. Now, this decision comes after Nigeria's disappointing WAFCON campaign, 2020 WAFCON in Morocco, where they were knocked out by finals before losing 2-1 to South Africa in the World Cup playoff. Nigeria went into that game as the only route for Nigeria to, make it to 2027 Women's World Cup. That result ended Nigeria's run of appearing at every FIFA Women's World Cup since the tournament began. Nigeria has made it to the Women's World Cup this is the first time in 31 years Nigeria would not be at the Women's World Cup. Now, the NFF has also set up a fact-finding committee. It's a process to examine what went wrong for Nigerian football. If you remember, the Super Eagles were not at the 2026 World Cup. Now the Super Falcons are not making it to the 2027 Women's World Cup in Brazil. So now the questions are, what does this decision mean for the future of the Super Falcons? Letting go the Super Falcons coach. What does this decision mean for the Super Falcons? Was the coach changing necessary, or does this problem go much deeper than the technical crew? And perhaps most importantly, what lessons should Nigerian football take from the entire WAFCON experience? Well, those are some of the conversations, some of the questions we'll be examining when we return. But for now, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll go into the conversations. And when we come back, we'll be joined by a guest who is deeply invested in women's football and has covered the WAFCON. Well, she will get us her perspective on the Super Falcons campaign, the decision pathways to the technical crew, and what needs to change going forward for the Nigerian team and the national team, the national Nigerian football at large. Well, stay with us. We'll get into that after this break.
Africa is changing. Its influence is growing. Its economy is evolving. The digital future is accelerating. Today, more than 1.5 billion people call Africa home. create a rare long-term investment opportunity. Execution matters. People need exchange. Orders have moved. And trust has been spared. The institutions that matter in the future will not simply distribute content. They will build trust. They will build communities. They will build influence. ANN was created for this moment. Not simply as a channel, not merely as a platform, but next generation African media institution, operating from Nigeria, present across the platform that matters: television, digital, streaming, mobile, event, intelligence, one ecosystem, AI, run by journalists, built to inform, built to engage, built to endure, and built to create value generated across multiple revenue streams: advertising, sponsorship, events, digital products, research, multiple revenues, one institution, one long-term vision. The greatest opportunities are not discovered, they are built. The work of building has already begun. The Lagos is taking shape. Vision is coming alive. This is ANN, alive to Africa, alive to the world. Africa is changing. Its influence is growing. Its economies are evolving. Its digital future is accelerating. More than 1.5 people call Africa home. Hundreds of millions already connected. And by 2050, the continent will be home to more than 2.5 billion people. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, drives its population growth and mass connectivity. That is the center of opportunity. The scale of Nigeria's growing population create a rare long-term investment opportunity. But opportunity alone changes nothing. Execution matters. People have changed. Audiences have moved. Attention is fragmented. Trust becomes scarce. The institution mass in future will not build. They will build communities. They will build and was created for this moment. Not simply as a channel, not merely as a platform, but generate television, digital, streaming, mobile, event, intelligence, one ecosystem, built with AI, run by journalists, built to inform, built to engage, built to endure, and built to create value generated across multiple revenue streams: advertising, sponsorship, events, digital products, research, multiple revenues, one institution, one long-term vision. The greatest opportunities are not discovered, they are built. The work of building has already begun. The Lagos studio is taking shape. The vision is coming alive. This is AN, a laugh, a light. Africa is changing. Its influence is growing. Its economy is evolving. Its digital future is accelerating. Today, more than 1.5 billion people call Africa home. Hundreds of millions already connected. And by 2050, the continent will be home to more than 2.5 billion people. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, drives this population growth and mass connectivity. The epicenter of opportunity. Africa's scale and Nigeria's growing population create a rare long-term investment opportunity. But opportunity alone changes nothing. Execution matters. Because media is king.
Welcome back to Sports Talk and News. Oh, it's been a busy in the football week. The taking center conversations has been taking center, and they'll be looking at the latest development around the team. What's the sad exit of the Super Falcons? Falcons coach being sued, execution with immediate effects. Discuss this and what lies ahead for the Falcons, and I'm going to be my sports journalist, Olayemi Joy, who is very much interested in football and has covered football, like I mentioned earlier. It's great I am like I would have loved to time, then a lot of conversations that we had. I would love to dive right into this, but that's happy on today. Let's dive right into it now. It's been a great time. Not get the how do you assess Falcons performance in WAFCON?
Well, Amara, it has been a very sad moment for us. As journalists who there's nothing much to say about the Super Falcons than you keep repeating on the fact that our girls were not properly prepared for this tournament. We saw it coming, just a matter of time for to be exposed to on the world stage. The girls FIFA World Cup, all the windows for friendlies, none were taken by really tough to watch them play because there was no synergy among the girls. There was no cohesion between them. You the girls were rusty playing. These are girls who ply their trade in most of them in Europe. They play with professionals. They play, on a cities or home meeting new players again. How you find your reading? It takes competition time. You take those windows, play your friendly, get to know very well. Know who just that led for Falcons to work on has been asked to step now. I'm sure you've seen that over the news. What's your thoughts? Do you think that's the right decision? He was going to leave. It was just going to be a matter of time. He's a victim of a failed system that refused to prepare early for this tournament. This tournament is bigger than the we won here. But we fail to understand with lack of preparation, we always have to put the blame on one person. And it's so bad that Justin Madugu for this. Of course, if the team does well, if they don't, it also gets, a review. So yeah, he came up with the group. I think it's not a bad idea. That we don't like treating the root of any of our problems. This has been where we have coaches for any of our national yes. So at this point, this is a struggle. It's not a matter of talent or we don't have the players, we don't have the raw talent or even the refined talent. But when the structure is anybody can do, if they are your who's too fair, it would be for a major tournament. But for me, somebody has to take before, and it's unfortunate that Justin have to pay the highest price. Yeah, I totally agree with you. That this position. We have to see how that works. Well, now we've seen that
Coach Justin Madugo has been let go. I mean, from where right now, it is not totally a bad decision to based on what is on and how it's about candidates. But now we're Madugo. I'd love to ask you, a new coach for the Falcons. The Super we let Zero go going in, the whole conversation around coaching, the whole issue is before we got to get Shell, who that's not team for the World Cup, making the for they want to get a new Super Falcons coach. Any coach in mind that you think that this particular coach, any coach, coach should be necessary.
The NFF board need to resign honorably. They need to leave first. I know this committee is setting up, to come and find what wrong. How are you setting up a committee to come and checkmate what is wrong?
That's finding
as far as yes, that's even at this point. What we should be looking at is this board, this particular set of leaders. So we need to who have full mindset, who have interest of next level. We need to set for so we have enough time to build. We have enough time to prepare. We have enough time to search the best. We have some best player, Florence. This is somebody that we can still look into her credibility to see how she is not as the technical or one of the to some but for now the NFF board needs to step aside first. Let us deal with the root cause. We have a bigger problem other than looking for a coach. Now is the time for we need people that put the in forefront, preparation before any tournament, scouting players, and also in the right facilities. We do not have facilities because if you train a player with good capacity and then play on a bad pitch, it will show. We lost one of the best players during the qualifier, during the World Cup qualifier to South Africa when we played in Bloemfontein in South Africa. That's because it was so bad. So in Nigeria, we do not have a top tier facility to even train, to even develop, these girls or these boys. When they go to play in their club, they're playing in very good and standard facilities. But they come back here, it's not to sharpen their skills, to continue that trajectory of excellence. So I guess the outcome is this one, individual so we need to get it right. Get our infrastructure right, get the right people handling the right job. But NFF at this point, the fact finding whatever they want to find, the first thing that they should find is that let the people that are here that set them up, let them use us for a minute. Let's get it right.
Get it right. I just saw the EFCC, the ICC, that reportedly probing the 12 billion the NFF given to for players management and all of that. And this takes us back to what you said on the pitch. If we have 12 billion naira given to check the welfare of players and putting into the national team, make sure that things are being put into place, media players. Some said they didn't like the pitch, you know, and that takes us.
Yes.
That takes us to these conversations we're having on the NFF, and it's to see how that pans out in, you know, the time. It's really that time now. It's not more than I must say. I hope that this is because we can't be having conversations like this all the time. It's distracting, you know. But I want us to touch on something a little bit. The fact. Okay. I think it was joy. Oh, like I said, it's really a sad one. I must say in this whole conversations on the NFF, all of that happens out in the communities. You know, conversations will follow. Potential short break now. When we return, we'll dive back into the conversations and hopefully would have joy would wrap up our conversation and of course wrap up on Sports Scope today. Stay with us.
Africa is changing. Its influence is growing. Its economies are evolving. Its digital future is accelerating. Today, more than 1.5 billion people call Africa home. Half millions are already connected. And by 2050, the continent will be home to more than 2.5 billion people. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, drives this population growth and mass activity. The epic center of opportunity. Our scale and Nigeria's growing population create a rare long-term investment opportunity. But opportunity alone changes nothing. Execution matters. Because media has changed, audiences have moved, attention has fragmented, trust has become scarce. The institutions that matter in the future will not simply distribute content, they will build trust. They will build communities. They will build influence. ANN was created for this moment. Not simply a channel, not merely a platform, but as a next generation African media institution, operating from everywhere, across every platform matters. Television, digital, streaming, mobile, events, intelligence, and ecosystem. AI, run by journalists, built to inform, to engage, built to create value generated across multiple revenue streams. At advertising, sponsorship, events, digital products, research, multiple revenues, one institution, one long-term vision. The greatest opportunities are not discovered, they are built. The work of building has already begun. The Lagos studio is taking shape. The vision is coming alive. Africa is changing. Its influence is growing. Its economy is its digital future is accelerating. Today, more than 1.5 billion people call Africa home. Hundreds of millions are already connected. By 2050, the continent will be more than 2.5 billion people. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, drives this population growth and mass connectivity. And of opportunity. Africa's scale and Nigeria's growing population create but opportunity alone changes nothing. Execution matters because media has changed. Audiences have moved. Attention is fragmented. Trust has become scarce. The institutions that matter in the future will not simply distribute content. They will build trust. They will build communities. They will build influence. ANN create not simply as a channel, not merely as a platform, but as a next-generation African media institution operating from Nigeria across every platform that matters: television, digital, streaming, mobile, events, intelligence, one ecosystem built with AI by journalists, built to form, built to engage, built to ensure, and built to create value across multiple revenues, advertising, sponsorship, events, digital products, research, multiple revenues, one institution, one long-term vision. The greatest opportunities are not discovered, they are built. The build has already begun. Lagos studio is taking shape. The vision is coming alive. This is ANN, Alive to Africa, Alive to the world. Africa is changing. Its influence is growing. Its economies are evolving. Its digital future is accelerating. Today, more than 1.5 billion people call Africa home. Hundreds of millions are already connected. And by 2050, the continent will be home to more than opportunity. Africa's scale and Nigeria's growing population create a rare long-term investment opportunity. But opportunity alone changes nothing. Execution. Media has changed. Audiences have moved. Attention has fragmented. Trust has become scarce. Institutions that matter in the future will not simply distribute content. They will build trust. They will build communities. They will build people. AN was created for this moment. Not simply as a channel, not merely as a platform, but as a next-generation African media institution operating from Nigeria, present across every platform that matters: television, digital, streaming, mobile, events, intelligence, one ecosystem, built with AI, run by journalists.
Back to this and developments ongoing in Nigerian football, the changes, Super Falcons coach being asked to tender with immediate effect, and earlier had a major on the Super Falcons, every conversation around the Nigerian football and the ongoing developing stories. Join us back. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, still talking about our darling Super Falcons team that has covered Nigeria for the longest. They exposed, the holes, that the Football Federation has been suffering for years. I pity the athletes, to be honest. I pity the players because they give in their best on the field. It's just that sometimes they say if you don't plan, you're already planning, and that was exactly what happened to the Falcons at AFCON.
It's been a time for the players. I noticed that most of the players are not even active on the social anymore. Michelle was deactivated after that game against America. It's really sad, and you can see how players are doing it. And also sadly that some people are scapegoats. Some people are the scapegoats. We're seeing that Justin Mago, him being asked to leave his position. The truth is that we cannot keep positions. We've had it. A lot of things have been said. Right now, one of the members that FF did not, the government did not have NFF boys to send. I'm sure you know that as a consolation, FF said that, but now they are still in position. So let's move away from it a little bit to the under 20 Women's World Cup. Yes, Nigeria did not make it to the World Cup, but the under 20 Women's World Cup is going to in September. I was saying that the Nigerian under 20 team would be performing in that. We are going to be facing. The first game is on September, and tell us what you think about that. I think the NFF should use this particular moment to rub back the hearts of Nigerians and console them, saying that the men's and the women's senior team did not make it to the Cup.
So this is the only tournament that the Nigerian national team will be participating in when it comes to FIFA events. But failed to qualify for the 20 under 17 senior boys and senior girls for the under 20 girls is the only that we have as a nation price point. I think if there's nothing they have been doing before, this is say, you know what, give in these girls every of these athletes where we are sharpen bond properly before they get to the field of play, because if we leave it, we might not maybe qualify out of the group stages. So this is a consolation, tournament for all Nigerians. This is the only tournament we are looking forward to, as a FIFA event. I'm hoping and believing that they also know how crucial and important for the players to get everything that they need for time, get them their kids early enough in camp, get them settled in, and let them be executive, games probably arrange differently for the girls. I'm looking forward to it because I'm tired of watching what players and because I enjoy your eyes on other event happen. For me, it's gladdens my spirit at least, even though we are crying, we will still have to own our eyes to watch and share the girls on this is very important. The FF, the National Sports Commission, needs to come out for the girls. And also, one thing I need to touch on is supporters club. A lot of people don't understand how important it is for a national team to have the backing of supporters club. In football, we call them the 12th man on the pitch. When you have them in the stand singing, chanting, cheering you on, there's something that it does to you on the field of play. I think it's time for all these fractions in support to keep the agencies and ensure they come up as one body. Poland to support the girls. It's beautiful when you look at and you see your national flag their face in Nigerian colors, it's beautiful. So I think that is also one support that the NFF collaboration with the National Sports Commission can put in place for this tournament for the girls in Poland.
Said from you, I really appreciate that. And I hope that maybe somebody from the NFF is watching this, and this should sound as a message to them, saying that the Nigerian team, the men's team did not make it to the Men's World Cup. The women's team did not make it to the women's. They're not making it to Brazil next year. So that women should be an avenue to show Nigerians that we are still up there. We are still top team, and hopefully that we get if they can at least use to give Nigerians to be happy at this time because it's dangerous. I thank you for having on me to you. As the conversation keep developing, we see turnout Nigeria, the national team, the under 20, and other conversations around sports. Thank you for joining the show today.
Thank you very much for having me, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your show. It's been another we have on the stories, sports, especially football. And like you said, it's really sad. It's a sad time in Nigerian football. Situations. Super Falcons coach been asked to step down, and right now the EFCC, like I mentioned during my conversations with Joy, are currently probing the 12 billion naira given to the NFF for players' welfare, for the national team's obligations. Well, moving forward from that, the Under-20 Women's World Cup will kick off in September, and the Nigeria's Under-20 women would be performing in that tournament. They will be participating, and they are grouped in. They are in the Group F. The Group F has China, New Caledonia. It has Nigeria, of course, and Spain. Yes, the first game is against Spain on the 7th of September, 5 p.m. Thereabout. That is when that game would kick off. But we hope to see how that turns out and see if the NFF would, put in support for this particular tournament and make sure Nigerians have something to talk about with the men's team and the women's national team, the women's senior team not making it to the World Cup next year, which has brought about these conversations. And yes, that is where we ended today. That is much we can take on Sportscope today. Thank you for staying with us. It has been a pleasure bringing you the latest updates in sports, and of course where we hear more on the developing stories, and in more shows would have more updates around other sports aside from international football. I am Amarachi Odinaka for our live news. Have a wonderful day.